what we are looking at right now is a V-shaped recovery in the crypto market. 7% day for Bitcoin again just after all these drama and panic. So if you are looking at the price action, it looks like this. On a daily chart, it's more or less a V-shaped recovery. Now we had this thought process here because the price action, the candlestick was showing us something similar where we were trying to study more in detail, and that's one of the reason why in this particular video we talked about the scenario of a V-shaped recovery. Now it was about injective protocol on video here on YouTube, literally saying okay, there is a possibility of this coming in, and right now this is injective protocol. It's already close to $4, and this is what we discussed, right? The price is going back up. So while we discussed about this V-shaped recovery, the market right now is showing that is doing exactly that. Now what's key here is Bitcoin just changed everything in 24 hours with what happened in US with the announcement from the regulators coming out and saying, okay, we're gonna make every depositors whole. Meaning they have a debt ceiling, they already reached that level, but from some way, they're gonna find that magic money and give to everyone. That's a good story. That's a good news for anyone who had money in those banks. But now the question is, who will actually pay for this? That's where you and me who are in the financial markets have an edge right now. Because those who have money in the bank, these guys are going to go through the QE again, push the inflation up. That means you lose again if you have money in the bank. Financial markets, they will go back up. Key area right now for us to look at is whether we are able to break through this. Now, as I mentioned earlier today, that we are reversing, that was based on what I saw here in eToro, an exchange, right? And right now, the price of Bitcoin is trying to break through this trend line resistance. That shows us there is market forces and different market makers trying to buy on this asset because they understand QE is coming back, and that means free magic money coming. Now, the rate hikes, people were really talking about a 50 basis point hikes, and I put my opinion out here in the Twitter saying, what I think is they're gonna hammer with words and then go on to a 25. But with this thing, I'm like, okay, even if they're going to do another 25 basis point hike, they're going to put another couple of banks into that verge, or maybe a dozen of banks at the verge of collapse. We right now have major banks being kicked out, including the signature one, which was the recent, right? So if you are following what's happening in the market right now, it is getting really, really interesting. We talked about this particular pattern that shows you there is something happening, which is maybe algorithmic trading, high frequency bots, whatever, but it does look like there is something evolving in these assets. We are getting to see a pattern which happened back in the past, 2020, and right now it's repeating in a shorter segment. Now I'm like, okay, if that's repeating, last time it was a microwave one for the macrowave one. I'm like, okay, if this is going to be right now microwave one for the macrowave two, that's bullish. Now it's not only in this one asset we are observing that, right? We are literally seeing all of this different assets showing us different examples of how things are evolving, and that's why we try to keep our eyes focused and literally update you guys about what's happening, what to look out for. And here I literally explained, like, watch for these levels. If you're breaking through these three, boom, you're gonna go off. And that's why right now we are here at $22,000. You just shaked out a lot of sellers, kicked them out. So that's bullish. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, it looks bullish. Remember, 24 hours back, we were all looking at what's the possibility, how the market is going to react, what we should be looking at, right? And people were still giving you thoughts on a $15,000 Bitcoin, $17,000 Bitcoin, $18,000 Bitcoin, like that. And we are like, okay, that still is a possibility. However, this is a short-term trend line which we are following. Right? I told you this. If we see that we break a resistance, the R here, bulls are trying to push these sellers out. So the bears are getting exhausted. And by the time you break all these three short-term levels, now bears are exhausted or bulls are like super strong. So now you're going to see the price action go through critical levels. And right now we observe that this is a pattern which we followed, right? We were talking about this particular pattern, asking like, okay, if we break this, it's going to be great. And in different exchanges, you have different prices agreed. But the positive thing, the hope is this. We see some fluctuation happening in the side of Europe where right now the time is different. You need to understand that. And they're trying to push through this one. Now, do we have a confirmation yet? No, it's a daily chart. We need to see that going higher, getting a daily close at that point, right? So here, right now, we are observing on the other aisle of this, we just got an open for 13th March. And here we are in the 12th March, right? So once this candle closes here, which is coming soon, I'm like, okay, if that happens to be closing above this trend line, that is bullish. And right now, it still looks like we are above that trend line, which is, again, bullish. Now, you can go look at a lot of different assets, including XRP. We had a price action pattern suggesting a hammer, which is bullish. Right now, we are slowly trying to go back up. But comparing a lot of different assets which are literally bursting 10, 20, 30% for the day, we are not observing the large cap coins following the suit, right? We have few which are doing that, but majority of them which are running crazy right now on the daily is in the other aisle of this, right? We are looking at the technology in a different area where you see AI, gaming, metaverse, that kind of decentralized area getting more attention. One is like, decentralized exchanges. Now you don't trust the banks. You don't even trust the stable coins because the stable coin has money in the banks. That does not look good right now. And one thing which we have to understand is even during the panic or during the bullish area, the pendulum, it does not actually stop in between. The issue is that, right? Either you're fully fearful or you're directly going to this end. You're highly greedy, right? That's how the market works. You are never in the middle. And that's hard, right? When the market swings, it's going to kick a lot of people, right? The key in the game is to stay in the game. If you want to achieve something from this market or any financial market, this is going to be critical for you to understand. Yes, the markets are going to be highly volatile, but your ability to understand what the market is showing on the macro structure, that helps. Meaning, while we were talking through this video, I still remember giving you guys that thought process of what I think is going to happen. So in that video, while we discussed about a lot of different assets, we talked about this. Some of these assets are breaking through a highly respected range, which is an accumulation zone. We broke out through that range and we talked about the possibility of the price doing like this. Now, it was like 2 days back when the market was dropping hard and the panic was at the sky high level. So it's really not that easy to come out here and say, yeah, I think this is going to follow this structure when the price is dropping like a stone. But the key here is not getting it right 100% of the time, but trying to learn as much as possible as soon as possible. Because you can take 20 years to learn or 5 years to learn the same stuff. That's your learning curve. And right now what we're observing is, okay, this possibility is slowly playing out in the market, isn't it? Now you go back here in the market and you're like, okay, there's a lot of different assets. What should I be looking at? I'm like, first, look at what the Bitcoin is doing. Then look for the Bitcoin dominance. And if you understand that the Bitcoin dominance is showing you one direction, don't just jump against it. Because if you do, now you can be in trouble, right? Just look at this. Last 3 days, Bitcoin dominance just ran up like this. And when you zoom in, This is the hard part, right? When you zoom in, you can now get a taste of what the market is suggesting, right? This is that day when we actually talked about the possibility of a rounded bottom reversal. You go back up. Now you're going to follow similar pattern here, right? Great. Now we come back in the market and you're observing that you just got something similar. So we are trying to repeat the recent past in terms of price action. And what did I actually point out towards? You're going to break through this level and come back here. Right now, you are trying to test that exact level. So this is key. On a short-term horizon, you're going to observe that the Bitcoin dominance is about to run higher. But now, this is going to be a little bit hard. You zoom out and you see Bitcoin dominance is still consolidating in a macro range when you look at the big picture. This is really important, because once you understand that Bitcoin dominance has been trending down from last 10 years, now you know what you can anticipate. Meaning, as soon as you see a reversal in the Bitcoin dominance, that is going to be the time when all coins are going to pop. That doesn't mean all coins are going to run right now. You will see alts running high, but not all of these coins. Right now, if Bitcoin is doing a 10% day, a lot of others will follow and do a 10% day. And a few, select random few, are going to do things like this, 30-40% day, which is way higher than what Bitcoin is doing. But at a point, you will see a lot of these coins doing the same, way higher than what Bitcoin is doing. Now, this is actually crazy, as we just talked about what we saw here in eToro, the exchange. Right now, that's already materialized in other exchanges like Binance. So I'm like, wow. So that for me is like, okay, that sector, market makers are showing you the direction right now, because earlier today, we followed that worked out. Right now, while recording this video, we followed it and that's working exactly like it. So one thing again, while I highlighted this earlier, saying, okay, in the BTC chart of eToro, we are literally observing that the resistance zone is being attacked by the bulls earlier today. Now, when we didn't get these candles, which we are talking about here, the bull candles. Now, one of the things which you can see is the candle closed here at 20,034, but it opened at 20,250. So we gapped there and we pushed higher. So the buyers or this buying order was too much in the order books, which pushed all the sellers away. And that's what we are observing right now. The price is getting close to $23,000. Remember, while we were at 19, the talk was like, okay, we are going to drop another $2,000-$3,000. But right now, things are getting erased. You're going into 23,000. Now, is it really that time to be, that euphoric, that hype? I would say no. Why? Because this is the time when you step back, look for what's happening in the macro segment. And if you understand what we talked about here from this weekly candle, we will get corrective actions which will last till this bottom. If that's the case, it's a continuation pattern. How many of you watched my channel for last 3 weeks? These 3 weekly candles, when we were dropping, we had the exact same idea, saying if we get a close here, that means we are going to get another candle or two, which would be boom. You're going to go through 29,000, 28,000, 30,000 range. And if that's happening in the next 2 or 3 weeks, if you went against the market, good luck. But always manage your risk. You will have winning trades, you will have losing trades, agreed. But what matters is at the end of the day, you come out with more than what you went in. If you're taking 10 trades, 3 leverage or 5x leverage, and you're taking like 30 days, 60 days, whatever is your time horizon, once you complete that and close all of that trades, you should be in net positive. That's all it matters, because in this game, staying alive is more important than trying to get every decision right. That's the hard part. A lot of people try to get everything perfectly correct, but this is the market. Millions of market participants are crazy and trying to do whatever they can do to make more money. That makes the market so volatile. So guys, if you are learning something from this channel, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And again, if you are looking for information like this as the market go back up, putting new highs, and altcoin try to break through the ultimate euphoric FOMO, if you want this information on the right time for these right assets, to know the resistance, to know the targets, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So that's it for today, guys. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.